Good afternoon. Today you're cooking with Farrah and Jeanine. Today's recipe is going to be egg frittata. For today's recipe, we're going to need 2 cups of vegetables. These are vegetables we had left over. We're going to chop those down and put them into our 2 cups. We're going to need 8 large eggs, 1/3 cup of cream or milk. Today we're going to use heavy cream. We need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1 1/4 cup of shredded cheese, and 2 tablespoons of oil. The tools we're going to need for this are a large bowl and a whisk, cutting board, knife, and a pan. This pan will go right in from the stove into the oven. Let's get started. So, we're going to cut the vegetables.
All right, I don't know if anyone knows what an egg frittata is, but it's basically like a scrambled eggs. It's like an egg pie, really. And the nice thing about egg frittata is it's a pretty versatile recipe because it really can be enjoyed for breakfast, a snack, a supper time meal, or virtually any time. And you can save it in the fridge for a couple of days. It's really a great way to actually use up some leftovers that you have in your fridge. So perhaps maybe once a week you can clean out your fridge, and whatever's left in your fridge you can decide to make an egg frittata. So today we're using mushrooms, broccoli, some spinach, some onions, and red pepper. Again, you may choose to use some frozen corn if you have that left over, or perhaps some cooked vegetables that you might have had for a Sunday evening meal. Cut them up fairly small. They're going to actually be sauteed in the oil in the frying pan. And essentially the recipe is you saute the vegetables in the oil, and then you whisk up the eggs and the salt and pepper and the cream, and then you pour it into the frying pan, or pour everything into a bowl actually. And then you mix it with the egg mixture, and then you pour it into the frying pan and roll off. Then it can be placed into the oven. The main ingredient in this particular recipe, of course, is eggs, as the name says. And eggs are absolutely, I call them a complete food, because they're the best source of complete protein that we have. And what I mean by that is that they actually contain 9 of the essential amino acids that we need for optimal health, and they support muscle maintenance, immune function, nerve function, eye health. So they're really critical for repair and maintenance of our overall body maintenance and health. Eggs are really rich in vitamins A, D, E, B12, and riboflavin. So again, they support our brain health and our metabolism. So wonderful, wonderful foods.
So Gina, I'm just going to pop everything into the bowl and then take out the 2 cups that way to put into our frittata.
And of course, the addition of all these wonderful vegetables adds many, many nutrients that are great for you, adding a whole variety of vitamins and minerals, especially fiber, which again is wonderful for the digestive system, and reducing our cholesterol, which overall is great for cardiovascular health.
It's a beautiful color arrangement though to go in the frittata, all those bright vegetables.
Although we might have noticed that the price of eggs has increased recently, they still remain one of the most affordable animal protein sources. They're quite low in calories, and they do serve as the foundation for many, 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 many dishes. So on their own or in countless recipes. So again, very, very versatile.
And you'll see we're going to have much more than 2 cups here of the vegetables. We're going to utilize those vegetables for another recipe at a later time.
I'll do this last mushroom here. Although today's frittata will be vegetarian, we will be adding another source of protein with the cheese, but you could also add some additional meats to the frittata. So something like a lean ground chicken. Best to stay away from some of the processed meats, because what you're doing by adding processed meats like ham and bacon is you're adding additional fat and calories. So you can use the variety of proteins, but try to choose the lower fat versions. That would make it a little bit healthier for sure.
It would. So we've gone ahead, we've added our 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to put that on the stove and we're going to cook that just for a couple of minutes. We're going to get our 2 cups of vegetables.
So this is 1.
So 1 cup. We're going to add that in there.
And 2. I think I'll have a little of everything in there.
Beautiful.
There you go.
And all that gorgeous color will be in the frittata. It'll be beautiful. We're going to cook that for 3 to 4 minutes. So while we're finishing off the last 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to whisk together our eggs, cream, salt, and pepper. So we don't want to over whisk. We're just going to add in the 3rd cup of cream. And then we're going to add in our salt and pepper.
Half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper.
And Jeanine's going to talk a little bit about eggs while I check on our vegetables that are frying.
So most people think about eggs and they are a little bit concerned about eggs because they're concerned about the cholesterol in eggs. And yes, that is true. Eggs do contain cholesterol. It's actually the egg yolk that contains the cholesterol, not the egg white. Eating eggs, though, in moderation, maybe 3 a week, really doesn't significantly alter anyone's cholesterol and in turn alter your increased risk of heart disease. The evidence is strong that suggests that eggs in moderation are okay, because as I had originally said, eggs are a great source of complete protein, providing all the 9 essential amino acids that our body needs and cannot produce. Interestingly enough, our body produces cholesterol, and so eating them in moderation is really safe. If you're concerned about heart disease, it's really more of a consideration to think about your total fat intake, and particularly saturated fat, because diets that are high in saturated fat certainly have been linked to heart disease. And eggs are very low in saturated fat. So eating them in moderation, it certainly will be a safe choice. And they're so versatile in that they can be used in so many different recipes and in so many ways that it's still a good choice. So moderation really is the key here.
Right. So beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to add all those gorgeous vegetables that we just cooked up for the last 3 to 4 minutes. We're going to use this pan over again. And once we've mixed together the vegetables and the cheese, we're going to put this egg frittata mixture back in the pan once it's mixed and cook it in the oven for 23 minutes at 350. There we go. And we're just going to transfer back over into the pan that it came out of. Getting all that gorgeous food in there.
You can see that Farrah used white cheese, but it's again, the versatility is there. You can use any type of cheese. My suggestion might be to use a lower fat cheese, only because again, you're cutting down on additional calories that you don't need. So adding additional meats, as long as they're low fat, and low fat cheeses, makes for a really healthy alternative. So you can see, once it comes out of the oven, you'll see that it's just a wonderful meal. If you serve it alongside a salad, or you take it, cut it in squares and take it as a snack, it's a all-around great, delicious option for people.
So we're going to go in and we're going to check our frittata. It's been 23 minutes and it's beautiful. We're going to just pull that out. We're going to let it cool off about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll cut and serve. Enjoy your egg frittata.